Okay, this is part 2 of giving yourself the title or having the title prophet or prophetess. Okay, so here's what we're gonna go with. Now, where I left off at was when the ones that are calling themselves prophetess because they can foretell something, they're using a familiar spirit that is guiding them and telling them a little bit of the future, or what is this and that. Honey, any familiar spirit is of Satan. And Satan, yes, Satan is going to be using prophets, so-called prophets, especially during the ends of times, to falsely deceit not only just regular people, but the chosen and the elect. Very much so to astray the Pacific, the elect. Okay, so let me get into scripture where this right here tells you in itself to back up what I'm saying when it comes to Satan deceiving you. And it is in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24. For false Christ and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, even possible, even the elect. So that also means not only would they have the entitlement, but they will deceive you because they'll be like, look at me. I'm doing this in God's name, not only that, but look at the miracles I'm producing. Look at these signs. Look at these wonders. I am chosen by God. It is still a false prophet and prophetess. Also, in the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 22. For false Christ and false prophets will rise, and will show signs and wonders, in order to lead astray, if possible, the elect. That right there is just showing you that he is going to use people. And so the people, if you're listening or following anybody that has that title, you already know, do not pay them no attention. Now, there is someone there that did not know that. They don't understand that how high ranking that titlement is. And because they are chosen and they was awoke, and they're trying to do what they know is right and to spread God's gospel, they are misunderstanding because they're, everybody's still learning. Nobody's never too old to learn. Those are still learning the correct ways of God. But here's the thing, when it comes to them, they didn't understand the rankingness of it. So they just think, oh yes, I'm being like God, in Jesus, and he had the disciples, and I'm out there spreading his word and his message and going here and doing this and that. They're misunderstanding it all together. First, so they're just giving themselves the title thinking, well, I got to call myself something. You're just a messenger. You're just God's messenger. You're not a prophet whatsoever. And I seen this one young lady on TikTok who's calling herself a prophetess, and she's wearing a beanie on her head. Good gosh. Lord of mercy. Then you got some that is getting those Jewish prayer head things and calling himself a prophet. No. Just because you brought one of those things which you can get online on Amazon for about 30 bucks doesn't make you a prophet. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. But I'm just trying to tell you, you got to be careful. You got to watch out for people who are deceiving you and trying to have you follow them under a false titlement, under a false name. Because that title of being a prophet and prophetess is a very high ranking. God chooses those people himself. People like Moses. Okay, you are not Moses. There's only 86 people who is ever chosen by God to be a prophetess. And honey, you are not one of them. And God is telling me, you better remove that as a title. This is probably my second video doing this. But apparently, God is really, he's really, really upset about this. That he's making me do another video and put into me. And not only did he have me write down these pages, but I spent all day writing this information down to get it through. Because this is how important it is. A lot of people don't even, God's not even talking to them. He's not even the one that's coming down and giving them the visions. He's not even the one. They're getting visions from angels. They're getting visions from Jesus. But they're not getting them from God. And a lot of people mistaking their visions from Jesus and from angels, thinking it is a vision from God, and it is not. So, I'm sorry to say this. I don't want to burst your bubble. I don't want to knock you down a peg or two or nothing. I'm not trying to do that. That's not my intent. My message is only to help you, because may God have mercy on your soul if you do not remove that title from your name. God did not give it to you. And even those ones who went to that school for prophets, and even those that was giving the title from a church ordained from highest priest, they are not God. They are not God. God gives that title, and nobody but God can come down and choose. Okay, even Jesus himself was not a prophet. He was the Messiah, and he chose his apostles, and he had his 12 apostles, and there is no apostles alive today on this earth either. So calling yourself apostle is also a big no-no. You are not an apostle. Jesus did not come down and chose you to be part of his members. And I'm sorry, but having those, you're not an apostle. We would like to be. I know I wouldn't mind. I have been around and have been one of God's 12, one of Jesus' 12. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have mind to have been chosen. But the truth of the matter is, I'm just not. And so I just have to settle with just being a messenger until he gives me, until God himself gives me something different. That's all that I am. And that's all that you are. Is just a messenger from God. You are chosen to spread his message. You're chosen to spread his gospel. I'm going to make sure I got everything on here before I continue on, because I think I pretty much had it on there. I think I did. Just to get through, I'm going to have to make a part 3, because I'm about to run out of time. And I don't want to start on this list and then it be broken down. So let me go to a part 3.